Hello again, everyone. It's Vince Forer from TradingWinds.com, and this is our update for April 30th, 2024. Let's take a quick look at today's markets. It was an interesting one for sure. Fully in the red, pretty much from the start. It was a slow, steady sell-off throughout the day, but really accelerated into the end. The Dow finishing down almost 600 points here. And actually, I have the chart of the SPYs up. My apologies. Let me bring up the Dow. We'll start there. And you can see here, getting very close to these prior lows. Yes, it's giving us a sell signal here. Now, remember, not all three time frames are aligned. So it's not something we'll jump on right now, especially ahead of the Fed meeting. But that is significant. It was a significant down day, down about 600 points. If you look at the S&P 500, also a significant down day. It was down, excuse me, about 92 points here. Just an incredible down day. Now, I want you to look at something here on the 5-minute chart here. There we go. Let's look. Here's where we started today. We just kind of went sideways. Then we broke these lows and we started to sell off, right? Consolidated a little, broke the low, sold off some more, etc. Look at the last 10 minutes. This is the last 10 minutes. And look at the volume spike in the last 10 minutes. So someone was really unloading there in the last 5 minutes. That's pretty crazy. And so, pretty significant down day there. The Qs here also down, excuse me, almost 400 points here as well. Pretty ugly day overall on these markets. Now, when you look at the overall volume, it's average at best, not, too concerning. But let's look at the last 5 minutes on this one to see if there was a similar move. Last 10 minutes. Yes, it was. It was just a complete rinse in the last 10 minutes here. So a fairly ugly day for the equity index charts. Let's look at crude oil, go there and see how that fared today. And crude oil also falling here. Now, it made about half of it back, maybe not quite. It's in that 81.60 here, but also pulled back. Gold was a whole other story. Gold has been very strong, and today took a serious hit here, falling back significantly here today. Now, it hasn't. I mean, we can say it's closed below those prior lows here. Let's see if there's follow through tomorrow. But it's just interesting that we get that move ahead of the Fed announcement. Now, there was one thing that certainly put pressure on gold today, and that was the dollar index. So let's look at that. It had a strong day. The dollar was up nicely today. There it is, nice bounce. We got a re-entry here. It's looking strong once again. The higher time frames are aligned. So, this, the 10-year note was up strongly as well. Really, what this feels like is certainly the Fed, at a minimum, will hold their stance where we are and sort of hint that, hey, we may remain here for a while before they start cutting. I think that's what the market is looking for. I think what the market wants to hear is that the Fed is going to say, listen, we're going to hold steady this month, but cuts are coming and they're coming soon. That's what the market would really love to hear. Will they hear that? Your guess is as good as mine. But right now, based on the market action today, I highly doubt that will be the case. Should they hike rates, that would be brutal. Then you would really see a big move here to the downside, I think. But I'm not expecting that either. I'm expecting them to hold steady. What I'm not 100% sure of is their language. But, if I had to guess, it would be that, hey, if we do cut, it'll be later in the year. For now, we're going to hold steady. So that's what I'm expecting from the Fed tomorrow. But we will know at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So fasten your seatbelts. That one's coming. We also have earnings season in full gear, and a few big names here. Early this morning, we had Eli Lilly come out and report, and they had good numbers. They also guided higher, and they did gap, although they gave back part of those gains. So we can't call this a breakout yet, but here that is something to look for a breakout above these highs on Eli Lilly. If, it'll be very strong, a very strong setup if we can close above these prior highs and follow through. Another one was McDonald's. Now their numbers were not good. Their earnings report showed that their customers have been cutting back. And this was an interesting reaction. We had a huge gap lower on the day, and then we spent the day sort of making it back, and it did close back above that 20. Didn't quite um, get above the prior day's high or close, but right there, I mean, it was an incredible comeback that McDonald's staged. And then after market close, we did get the Amazon earnings. They are out, and they did beat top and bottom line. Haven't heard the conference call yet. Not quite sure what's going on, but initially they did move up in after hours trading. They were up about 6% initially. Then they started trickling back, and the last I saw um, they were only up about 3%. AMD came out with earnings as well after market close, and their stock uh, dropped about 4%. Now, these numbers can change, especially after the calls, right? It's really the guidance that people are looking for. But they were down another 4%. And one who was really getting beat up after market hours was Starbucks. They came out with earnings disappointed. Their stock was down about 10% the last time I checked. So expect them to open lower. Now, in other news today, the cannabis sector got a bit of a pop. Well, more than a bit. I'm going to show you the ETF MJ here. Big move. This is on news that the Biden administration is considering lowering the classification of marijuana to a less dangerous drug, right? And doing so on a national level. So we saw not only the ETF, but several of those individual cannabis names like Tilray here, get a significant spike. Will it last it? I'm sure it'll settle back down here. But, if they do follow through and actually come through with that legislation, I think this sector will come to life here, at least in the near term. And just going back quickly to the dollar and how it fared today against other currencies. The JPY, Japanese yen. Remember, yesterday it had that big crazy day here where it went flying higher, and then what speculation was the Bank of Japan intervened and brought it all the way back down. Today again, back up nicely here. So the dollar really moving strongly here against the yen, and as well as the euro. If you look at the euro against the dollar, the euro selling off here and setting up short once again here. So the dollar is looking very strong. Gold, yes, had a pullback, but still looks really good longer term. And if you think about it, if and when the Fed does start to cut rates, the dollar should go lower, pushing gold higher, et cetera. So I think the future for gold longer term looks really good. Today, though, it got smacked around a little, just like the equity markets. And especially that what was interesting to me was that end of day sell off. Those last 10 minutes saw a big push lower, which makes me wonder if someone has gotten word of something. The last chart I'm going to show you is Bitcoin. It also pulled back significantly. So, um, you know, today basically it was dollar up, everything else down. That's that's what it looked like. And Bitcoin here now, below these prior lows, so there is room to come back here. Um, and at a minimum, I might find some support here near 53,000, more than likely closer to the 44, 45,000 areas where it might find some support. So, um, so again, looking ahead tomorrow, we get the ADP and private payroll numbers out in the morning. That usually gives us some indication of what the full employment report will be like on the Friday. And then at 2 p.m. Eastern, we get the Fed's decision on interest rates. Um, and Thursday, after market close, we get Apple earnings. That'll be absolutely huge. And then Friday, of course, the full employment report. So we'll keep an eye on the futures overnight and into tomorrow, just because that last 10-minute sell-off caught my attention. I'm really interested to see what the futures do later tonight and early tomorrow. But again, the market holding its breath for the Fed at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's about it for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on our next update. Take care.